Hey guys, today we're journaling Philippians 3:13 through 14. Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. So I'm starting with a little path. And I made my path with a king's gold mixed with a little bit of a light mocha color, like a brown color. And I started making it like a winding path because I'm wanting to put some mountains on the side. So I just kind of started with a generic path. I end up fixing it towards the end because it's not exactly where I wanted it to be, but it kind of gave me a good idea of where to go. So I got that on there. So my next step, I mixed a lighter color green with some white and some of the color from the path to make it kind of a dulled color, and I'm filling that in so the grass is all around it, kind of the background for the grass. And you can see my colors mixed there on my palette, the different ones that I'm using. And so I just kind of made the horizon line right there and just filled that in and dried it. Next, I'm going to start painting my mountains. My front one, I wanted to do like this olive dark green. And so I'm just making the shape. So for the background, that olive green, I just made like a generic-y mountaintop shape on the side of the page. And I'm just going to fill that in. And you notice I covered my path. In the end, I'm going to change my path just a little bit. But it's all about getting that paint on there and seeing where things go. Next, I'm going to use this fanned out like brush. I'm going to show you. See it there? And I dipped it in a lighter green and a yellow. And if you notice, I'm getting out the lines. That's okay. I'm going to shape it up in a minute. Where it's on the edge of the page, it was hard for me to realize how to do that. And so my mountain got a little misshapen, and that's where I have to end up changing my path as well. But I added like some dark green and some yellow in there, and I think it makes it, can't see as good on this video, but it does make it look like little trees, you know, because when you look at the mountains, you can see the trees in them. And I also end up adding a little dark blue at the end. So I went back in and shaped up the green around the side of my mountain that's above the horizon line, or below the horizon line. And now I'm adding my blue mountains, which covers up the rest of my little out of the line mess there with the mountains. So I'm covering that up with my blue mountains because when you look in the distance, to me, the mountains look very blue, like a dark blue. Now I'm taking my fanned out brush again and I'm adding the green, the olive color green. Look, I added my blue. I got out of the lines. But I'm going to go in and fill that in with the sky color. So now I'm fixing my path. So I have to make it go around my mountain since my mountain kind of overtook my path. And it worked out really good because then I can make my path really get smaller as it goes into the distance behind the mountains. So it almost just disappears right there behind the mountains. And it worked out really good to do it that way. So I loved how it turned out. And I made that get really, really thin, and I ended up making it go all the way in behind those mountains, and I loved it. When I'm working on a big page like this, I like to dry a lot when I get the bottom of the page done. So that way when I go to paint the top, I don't have to worry about laying my arm down in paint and smudging my artwork. So I like to dry in between steps sometimes to prevent that. So now I wanted to add some details about the grass. It's kind of like a field. So the ones that are close to the bottom of the page, which will be more close up to your view, I made those more defined. You can see the swipes of grass. And I put in an olive, a gold, and a lighter color green. Now for the background, I did those more like just messy swipes because they're farther away. You're not going to see the defined shape of the grass as much as you would closer up because those are going to be closer to the mountains. So I did those, just some messy grass blades there, gold and olive and light green. Then I wanted to add some flowers. I'm using some red and made some little wildflowers, just some little loose shapes, 3 little swipes. And I just added some dots. I was going to kind of do some splatters, but I was afraid it would get too messy, so I ended up just doing the dots. Now I'll add some daisies in the front there too. Just some little swipes to make a round circle. And I just added some little dots in the distance because you won't be able to see those very far away. And then some gold centers. Now for my sky. So I used a very light yellow and made my sun because it's going to be bright. And I put it right there between the 2 mountains like it's setting or rising, either way. You can look at it both ways. It's setting on an old day or rising on a new one. And I took the King's Gold and I outlined my sun so I can tell where my sun is. Because once I start working on my sunset or sunrise sky, the colors start to blend. So I wanted the sun to be defined. And then I got a little on my mountains. I had to fix that. Now I'm taking that light color yellow and I'm just streaking the sky. And the key to making a pretty sunset is to move quickly and make those acrylics blend together. And so I just added some red and some yellow, and I'm just moving really quickly so that it doesn't dry and they will blend together and make a pretty sky color. So when that red and yellow mix together, it makes an orange, and I just added a little bit more red mixed with some white, and I took my blue and mixed with some white to add in there to go with my sunset colors to make a little purple, purples, reds, orange, yellow. You see all that in the sky and the sunset, and I added some more yellow over top, which made some green. So I went back over that with some red, and I just kept adding colors until I got a sunset that I liked. And sometimes you have to keep adding until you kind of get what you like. And sometimes too much can be too much. I almost got too much on this page, but I really like how it turned out. And I added some more darker yellow around my sun so it would be more defined. And added some more yellow to the top to brighten it up. So my phone died before I could record the lettering, but I just wrote, "Don't look back, look forward," because the verse is all about moving forward and forgetting, confess those sins, leave them with Jesus, forget them, move on, and keep striving to be the best you can every day. And that's what I thought the path went really well with that. That you just keep traveling on. The road gets windy, things get hard, but you just keep traveling on and keep trusting God and keep serving Him the best that you can. I hope that you can recreate this in your own Bible. Thank you for watching.